Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're doing something a little bit different. We've got a 2K actual battle report coming up. So back at our lovely sponsors, Warp Storm. So make sure to check them out. And make sure you also keep up with our Escalation League as round 2 is starting soon. So back to today. Playing on usual big board. We're playing 2017 chapter approved, as we can't find our 2018, which not great. But we're playing Supplies from Above. So that is a fun old 4 points on the board that will keep moving every single turn. Oh, I was actually wrong. It's from Chapter Approved 2018. We have found our edition.
It was buried.
It was buried somewhere. Deployment is Hammer and Anvil. So the good old face-off. And today we have got one of the great new supplements of Salamanders. So Toby has brought down his Salamanders. And they're going up against my Blood Angels. So we're going to go over the armies in a minute and see what we've brought. Okay, so we're going to go over what Toby's brought with his new Salamanders. So if you want to take it away, Toby.
Well, you're saying new. I've had them for a while. The different paint scheme, as you can see. So the brighter green is the new ones I've been working on more recently. Those of you that follow the Instagram page will have seen some of them. So we're running a brigade today to try and get as many command points to show off what the new supplement can do. I know it's not the most competitive of lists, but it's a bit fluffy and show things off. I'd like to also apologise for the attack bike at the back. He's not quite finished, just to get trying to literally get one more fast attack slot in, and the points limit, that was all I had available at the time. So in the HQ slots, I have Vulcan Histan, the Forge Father, giving me lovely rerolls to hit and wound on flame and melter weaponry. Obviously synchronises quite nicely with our new enhanced doctrines. We have Adrax Agatone, the new Primaris character. He's not that competitive, but I love the model, and he was Blaster Paint, so he's in the list. We then have the Chaplain to his left, or left as I'm looking at him. He's there to give enhanced wound rolls for things like Aggressors and Centurions with the Cataclysms of Fire, I think it's called. Pronunciation might be wrong. Primaris Librarian, as you see the powers in front of him, we've taken Fire Shield and Drakeskin, so some defensive powers. Drakeskin gives increased toughness, Fire Shield gives -1 to charge and -1 to be hit, so we can buff up some of the units to protect them long term. In the troop slots, of all the troops, we have a 5-man squad of intercessors with the standard bolt rifle, just nice and cheap, but a little bit more survivability. A tactical marine squad, just because cheapness. Following the trend, we have a squad of basic scouts, then a squad of sniper scouts. They don't have the camo cloaks, but obviously that's the way the models come. We have another tactical squad that has got a flamer. I had the points knocking around. And then another squad of scouts on the end there. Going into elites, just as Tom's got the camera on them, we have a squad of assault centurions. They have the hurricane bolters and the flamers.
It's actually the first time I've ever faced Centurions.
Okay,
never seen them on the table.
I had them before they came in vogue. They've been sat on the shelf gathering dust for quite a while. I just actually got around to painting them, and they are a really good fun kit to paint if you can get hold of them. We then have the Primaris Apothecary, just to try and keep some stuff alive going forwards. I probably will spend an extra command point to give him the Obsidian Aquila relic. That then gives him, it gives the units within 6 of him, I believe, a 6-up feel no pain, so it just enhances his healing. It's going to be a little bit fluffy. And then behind him, we've got the Primaris Ancient. They took a little bit of a hit with the new codex, but they a bit fluffy. And again, I enjoy painting him, so he's in the list, although perhaps not that suitable for the list generally. Behind them, you've got some aggressors ever present in these lists. You've got some of my older ones on the right as you're looking at them, and the brighter ones there in the green, in the bright glitter green, are the newer ones I've had. I've been experimenting with paint colours, and I prefer the brighter. The other ones look a little bit too Dark Angels-y for my taste these days. Into heavy support, we have a unit of Eliminators, cheap and cheerful, and Tom's got a few characters that they might have to plink off with that. We've got a Devastator squad with Las Cannons. Dearly wanted to bring multi-melters, but they're just a little bit too expensive and couldn't fit them in, so Las Cannons we have. Sitting behind them, we have the big boy. He hasn't been fielded for a very long time. He's had a little bit of a quick repaint to get the brighter green on him, but he is one of the first units I actually bought, believe it or not. Redeemer, with the upgrade he's taken is just the Storm Bolter, mainly to fill the hole on top of him. The obviously twin assault cannons and the 2 flamestorm cannons, they got a bump up to 12-inch range, which is lovely, and obviously again links in quite nicely with my new doctrines. Then finally we're on to the not quite complete fast attack selection. We have a land speeder with heavy flamer. Again, just to zoom up, a bit of ball control, try to worry about Tom's death company. We have an attack bike, which although it hasn't got it because his passenger has been decapitated on the drive, he has a multi-melter. Again, it's a little bit fluffier than the heavy bolter, although the bolter would have obviously been cheaper. And then a squad of suppressors in the front there. Was going to bring another land speeder to bring up some points. However, it was nowhere near finished, and I wanted it at least to be green on the table. So the suppressors came in. I haven't had a lot of luck with them, but they could do some work, especially with the assault centurions and a few other bits and bobs trying to nice and Overwatch. But that's the list. It comes with 16 command points being a brigade, I think.
Ooh, yeah, it will do.
May spend a few. We'll let you know as the first round goes through. I've just got to make my final decisions before we go on there.
Oh,
and that's it, guys.
Yeah, what a fantastic army. Cool. So we're going to move on to Blood Angels and see what I'm bringing. Okay, so for my Blood Angels, I've brought 3 detachment. I've got a battalion, a Vanguard, and a Spearhead. So with the 3 heavies, 3 elites. So leading up my entire army, and taking up Warlord slot is my Slam Captain. I've already spent 1 CP to give him Death Visions and Sanguinius. So he has the Death Company keyword and the 6-up Feel No Pain. Also in the battalion, I've got my Librarian Dreadnought, whose 2 powers will be Unleash Rage and Wings of Sanguinius, because a flying Dreadnought is always hilarious to see around. And making up the rest of the battalion, I've got 1 squad of 5 Intercessors, or with the standard bolt rifles and grenade launchers, as they're still pretty good for knocking a 30-inch grenade around. Second set of Intercessors as well, exactly the same with a grenade launcher. 5-man tactical squad with a heavy bolter, because it's always good to throw Hellfire shells around. And making up the rest of the battalion, you've got 5 scouts, and then my Imperial Space Marine, because I had the points knocking around. I had 60 points spare. He's 60 points. His gun's funny. It's -3 d6 damage. It's a great little thing just to pop a character if someone gets too close. And he is a character, so he can't just be shot straight away, which is always fun. Moving on to my Vanguard. HQ is the Sanguinor, which is always good because he's a beast in combat. So he's being backed up by 3 elites, which are my Death Company and my Sanguinary Guards. Yeah, making up the Vanguard at the end is the Death Company Dread. I don't see him on the table much, but I do love bringing him because he can be an absolute slaughterfest when he has some fun. Also got something a bit different, Relic Sakaran Punisher. So it's great for mauling down troops in the open. Adds a little bit of buff when you need it because it's just a big ass tank. And then moving on to my Spearhead, I've got Lamartis as the HQ of that one. And he is bringing it up with a Battle Predator. Though those are flamers on the side for the points, it's running a bit of Mark of Dave. It's got twin heavy bolters with the assault cannon. And then got my Eliminators. Again, same as Toby, he's got a couple of characters. Might try and pop them, or just try and control part of the board with them. And then some Hell Blasters, because they're always fun to blow themselves up. Especially the way I roll. So we're going to go on to deployment and see how we're doing. Okay, so all deployments done. I've deployed actually very aggressive on the 12-inch line. I've got 90% of the forces ready to just go forward. As Blood Angels do like to get in combat as soon as possible. I don't really want to be shot at by those flamers. But I'm going to have to take the Overwatch, which is going to hurt a lot. Kept a bit of backline with the Hell Blasters. Deployed the Eliminators and the Scouts up front. But we'll see what happens there. By the looks of it, Toby's also deployed quite aggressive. This is actually quite a good matchup for us, to be honest. 2 very aggressive armies. Wanting to get in each other's face. We have the Centurions and Vulcan in the Land Raider. They're hanging out so they don't get popped quickly.
It's more to do with the 4-inch move on the Centurions.
That fun old, very slow moving. And then we've got some guys in the ruins. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our pre-game stuff and then roll off. And then we'll come back after movement. Okay, so we've done our pre-game stuff. I believe Toby spent a CP on.
Yep, so a little bit of admin. Sorry, it's early on a Sunday morning, guys, so I've forgotten to say a few things. So Agatone is my warlord. Again, probably not the best choice in terms of competitiveness, but yeah, it's happened. We've spent a extra CP on no additional relic on the chaplain to give him Vulcan's sigil, which gives him an extra attack, and once per battle I can raise it aloft and give an extra attack to models within 6 of him in combat. So that puts the aggressors up to, I think we said 5 attacks each on the charge, or if they've been charged, with Power Fist, re-rolling ones, and all the Salamander goodness, so they're a bit beefy.
Owie.
And yet we did pay we did give the freebie relic, standard relic, to the apothecary to give the 6 up Feel No Pain with aura there. That's basically my admin, but Tom's going first, unless I can see, so I'll figure we roll that for you. I'm going to aim here.
Yeah.
No, so Tom is going first.
Cool.
We need to do drifting supplies.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and my movement will come back at the end of the phase. Okay, some very aggressive movement. I did pay the 2 CP at the beginning of the game to get my Dreadnought right up into these aggressors. So he is only 7 inches away for a charge, so we can have a bit of fun with that. Rest of the army, moving quite aggressively through the middle. Luckily, with the way the game works, fly keyword does take precedence when it's actually on the point. So it does allow me to score some points very quickly if I do get caught up in stuff. But I've had to move the Hellblasters. I annoyingly deployed them wrong. I thought their range was a lot more, but it isn't. But hey ho, it's not the end of the world.
They're the normal Hellblasters.
Yeah, so 30 inches. Yeah. Which isn't too bad. It just means I won't be potentially popping a Land Raider to first turn.
Well, yeah.
Nah, well, probably not. You're not with 5 of them. It's only 10 damage if I rolled perfect. But everything else is moving up, clocking up the middle a bit. I'm trying to keep some of the scary stuff. Haven't deep struck anyone because I've holding back a bit wary of these flamers and how horrible they can probably be. So we're going to move into my psychic phase. So I'm going to do wings on the Dreadnought because a flying Dreadnought is the best Dreadnought in the world. So it does go off on a 5, which is 7. It does go off. I don't know if you're in denial range at
24.
Yeah, 24.
I don't think so. No.
No. Okay, and he's also going to cast the Quickening on himself. So that also goes off on a 6, which, just. So he will be getting his 12-inch movement, and we're going to go into shooting, and we'll come back at the end of shooting and see if I've killed anything. Whew. So that was a lot of shooting from the Blood Angels. So we managed to kill off 1 scout squad. We've left 1 tactical marine who was a 5-man squad, so we will have to do the morale in a bit and see what happens with that. Everything else, I managed to pop 2 las cannons, but in return off a 4, he managed to take 6 wounds with the rerolls off my librarian dread, so he's in a very scary position.
Behind the ruins is an ancient.
Yeah, very lovely. Managed to kill 1 suppressor and get these scouts down to 2. So that's the end of my shooting phase. Before I forget, because it is the Remembrance Day, we have got a little token in the middle of the map, just to remind everyone of all the things that happened years past, and we've always got to remember, because that's how we keep it from happening again. So, moving on to combat. So we're going to do some charges. So I think I'm going to go for a cheeky charge on those aggressors. So it is a 7-inch charge.
I will overwatch you, but obviously I'll let you roll that first.
So I'm going to re-roll.
You get re-rolling built with that?
No, I'm going to spend the CP on it. So I'm down to 6 CP. So that's better. So he's definitely in. And now we're going to have
many dice.
Many dice coming back at me. So we're not going to film that bit, but we're going to see if he's still alive afterwards. Okay, so I made the charge, and then I forgot there is a ton of stratagems. So Toby's used a lot of CP.
4 CP for this.
Yeah, to bring Framecraft, the Crucible of Battle, and the Fires of Battle. So we're going to do the Fires of Battle first, because it's only on 1 model. So all 4 pluses are mortal wounds, and there's 24 shots coming through at me.
Okay,
that's all right.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mortal wounds.
Jesus. So that's 15 feel no pains I have to make, and I have to save a lot of them.
Each one of that's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's 13 normal armor saves.
Right, so we'll go through the feel no pains, because that is a 6-up, so it's probably just going to kill it anyway.
Yeah, I may spend too many CP on this.
But it's always a bit of fun. So I stopped 1. So yeah, it's dead.
What's his explosion range? 6, because you were 7 away.
Yeah, I'm 7 away, so you are fine. But does he explode for the funds? No. So yeah, he is dead. That's that charge over and done with.
And that's about being in Promethean Cult for +1 to wound.
And that wasn't even all the shots.
That was just 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Because of range.
That was horrible. So the...
Don't charge Salamanders within 8 inches.
Yeah, just a lesson learned.
Or 12 of the Redeemer.
Yeah, just don't bother. If you're going to charge them, just have something like a Slam Captain.
Yeah.
Which
or
I'm
make
holding
sure I
back.
can't see you.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to do the other charges, and we'll come back after combat. Cool, so I did actually manage to do some combat. Got my Librarian Dread all the way in here. So he's consolidated in, killed 3 of them, and moving on to, that's the end of my turn, so we're going to move on to Salamander's turn 1, and see how much the Sons of Vulcan can hurt me back. Ooh, so we've got some very crafty moving going on here. So the guys over here have fallen out of battle. So the Dreadnought's now able to be shot at by pretty much everything that stood there. He's probably going to die. So we'll see what happens. Moving back over here, all the aggressors and this big blob of characters marching up the board. They're trying to get into a bit of more flamer range. I'm probably going to... Next turn will be quite a critical turn, I would say, with that big group. I might need to try and get rid of them. We'll see what I can do. Tap Bike is zipped all the way up here, same with the Land Speeder, and same movements on those. And the Land Raider is popped out hiding. Probably going to take some shots at my Sakaran, try and get rid of it. So we're going to move on to shooting. We've also got the Litany in actual play, which is the Cataclysm of Fire. What does that one do, Toby?
So that is, when it's expiring, select one friendly unit within 6 inches of the model. When resolving an attack made by ranged weapons with this model, to the closest visible enemy unit, add 1 to the rune roll. So not going to come into play this my attack, my shooting phase because of ranges. But if Tom decides to charge me, then I've got +1 to wound. Ooh. If I decide to target that unit coming in.
Yeah, definitely. That is
so that's quite tasty.
Pretty tasty. So we're going to move into shooting and see if anything survives after that, because I've probably got a lot of shots coming my way. So we actually totally forgot there is a Librarian on the board with the Salamanders. So we're going to see what psychic powers he can pop off.
So we're going to try Drake Skin onto the Land Raider.
Cool.
Which gives him +1 toughness on a Border 6. Doesn't go off.
Doesn't go off.
And then we're going to try Fire Shield on the same target. That goes off on an 8.
On an 8, so I am going to try and deny that. Oh, sorry, Toby's dice. So I am within 12, so I do get +1, so I do only have to roll a 7, which I don't deny. So
that's Fire Shield on the Land Raider, which gives him -1 to hit from the hit rolls, range weapons, and -1 to be charged.
Awesome.
So Drake Skin would have been nice because that gives him +1 toughness. So
at least we haven't got a mega tough Land Raider coming at me.
That does allow me to give, if I was playing Ash Mantle with my character, that can make him toughness 12.
Jesus.
So Sock Cannon's wounding on 6s.
Even harder than any Titan, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a character.
Well, we are definitely going into shooting phase now because we haven't forgotten anything else. So we're just going to see what gets popped. Cool. So, quite a few shots coming back at me. On this side of the board, not much really happened.
Oh, we've got that way.
Oh, well, we'll do the tap back now.
24 inch range, so into the bell.
Yep.
So hit on 4s because he's moved. Hits. Toughness of bell, 7 still?
7.
So yep. Freeze. Salamander reroll.
Go through.
Minus
a lot.
Because
not stopping that.
Definitely not in melee range. So D6 damage.
For 1.
I will command point CP. I have already CP,
Yeah.
so I can't.
Okay, so
Damage on the bow.
he's down to 10 wounds. So we'll do that in a second. But in terms of everything else, I have lost a sanguinary guard, one guy, and my eliminators got absolutely pummeled. Took a lot of shots. Over here, my Sakaran is down to 10 wounds.
I rolled really badly on the flamestorm cannons.
Yeah, and las cannons.
Yes,
got very lucky for myself. So no charges. So we will
the
move.
Redeemer's going to charge the Scar.
Oh yeah, actually we are getting that. So we're going to see if he gets in, and then we'll do my Overwatch because there's a lot of shots.
So I think it's a 9 or a 10. On that, he's not getting in.
Okay, so we'll come back after I've done the Overwatch and movement. So I'm keeping my aggressive stance going. This blob, unfortunately, has to die. Probably overcommitting a little bit, but I've literally brought the Death Star to bear. So 9 Death Company, 4 Sanguinary Guard, the Sanguinor, and Slam Captain, and Lamarties. I'm probably going to charge these guys. I have got some shots, so I will shoot at them. Maybe try and knock a couple of wounds off, so I can do. Kept my intercessors still, so they get the max amounts of shots. Got to try and get this guy away from this point, because he'll be able to move and cap it. Bit of damage limitation as much as possible. Tactical squad, they're capping. Heavy bolter's got some good range, so they'll probably stay where they are. And these intercessors have moved up into a building to keep a bit of cover. And the Imperial Space Marines got in range, so at least he'll be able to fire a shot off before he probably gets sniped. Eliminators have moved up. I've got to get them moving because they're
Hellblasters.
Hellblasters. Yeah, they're not eliminators. They're dead. It's Sunday. It's too early. Sakaran stays still because it does get rerolls on its Punisher when it stays still. So that'd be good for wiping out some troop units. I need to try and kill some stuff. Try and get some more scoring units off the board. But I think the pivotal bit of the battle probably over here. And then after that, if they can survive, because then I've got Centurions to deal with that will come bursting out of that Land Raider and probably just kill my Sakaran. So we're going to move into shooting and see if anything actually survives. Awesome. So we had a pretty decent shooting phase from the Blood Angels. Managed to clear out Tac Bite down here. Did take a lot of heavy shots to clear it out. Then over here, you had the Hellblasters, and it fired at the Landspeeder, wiped it out. And then the Sakaran managed to wipe out the last 2 scouts up here, and the tactical squad that were hiding by the Librarian. Down here, though, another cheeky CP was used for the self-sacrifice on Adrax. So I couldn't shoot him, couldn't shoot any of them. So, and the one guy I could shoot at over here just decided to shrug it all because he's in a 2-up save. But we're going to go into charges. So I am going to charge my Slime Captain first. So he has got Angel Wings, so he can't be overwatched, which is a saving grace. He is going to charge everything. So he's going to go in. But I get to reroll thanks to Angel Wings. Woo! For 10. So he's going to plonk himself in the middle. So we'll do the rest of the charges and see what happens. Yeah, so combat, I piled pretty much everything in and thought, yeah, I'm Blood Angels. I kill stuff really, really easily because, Red Thirst and everything else. So my captain went after Adrax, got transhumaned, managed to leave him with 3 wounds, and then I got interrupted 2 CP. So after all this, Toby is only down to 3 CP.
Of 16.
But it's worth it. Because all he's done on a fight back is kill all my Sanguinary Guard and left me with 1 Death Company. And after being attacked, the captain did die, so he's got Slay the Warlord on top. I've left Adrax on a single wound.
After fighting twice.
Yeah, fighting twice, that reducing damage. And he did CP one of his Iron Halo, because he did need to, or he was just going to die. So yeah,
and the apothecary with the Obsidian Aquila giving a 6 upfield on pain is, so far, he's the MVP of this, because that's just saved. It made you spend so many wounds trying to kill aggressors. Yeah, and to be honest, MVP from Death Company, Thunderhammer, and the couple of guys that left, he did. And with... Did the Thunderhammer guy kill all the aggressors?
Yeah. He span round in a circle, super angry, and decided to kill everyone. Annoyingly, Sanguinor didn't get into combat, so he is out. He might die next turn, but I know if he is charged, he's a bit of a character slayer. But we'll see what happens. So I'm down to 2 CP. Toby's on 3, and that's the end of my round 2. So we're on to Toby's turn 2. So we're going to see how many points he's got, and I'll come back after movement.
I'll get out of the way, so I'm not in shot. I've got in shot.
So, bit of cheeky movements. The Centurions have finally arrived. I finally get to see what they do. It'll probably result in me losing a tank at this rate. But Vulcan hiding up behind them. The Land Raider breeze block has scooped round. Probably going to flame my scouts in cover, just to try and get rid of them, because they are sneaky. Back here, not much has moved. Last cannons have stayed still, everything, because it's probably better for them. Because if they don't, they probably will just blow themselves up at some point, or get blown up. Something horrible will probably happen at some point. Over here, the guys have shimmied around a little bit. This guy's got back within 3. Kind of a bit of a tactical move because it's forcing me to have to kill him. Or get something with a jump pack over there. So it's just leaving myself out in the open. Because then I'm losing points. Because we are tied at the moment, 3-3. With 2 and 3 CP left. So we are doing pretty well. So Adrax has stayed in combat. He has regained 3 wounds. So he's back up to 4. So we're going to move into shooting. And let's see.
Psychic Phase went through as well.
Yeah, Psychic Phase went through.
Librarian ate himself.
Yeah, Librarian decided he wanted to blow himself up. But he did get the old -1 to hit.
Yep.
But Drake's skin failed once again. Failed. So he doesn't seem to be liking that. So we're going to move on to shooting and see what gets popped. Ouch is the keyword to this shooting phase. So yeah, so over here, some snipers, some other shots come in, killed 2 intercessors. Same up here, lost a scout as well. Not too bad. Las cannons fluffed on my bow predator.
Again.
Yeah, taking him down to 6 wounds, which he's still running, he's still good. But then, a bunch of Centurions decided to use flamers. Which normally you'd be like, yeah, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And then they rolled 20 odd shots. And then they reduced your Sakaran down to 1 wound. And it absolutely hurts. What a shot. Literally, Salamander Flamers, if you're watching this, just stack them. Especially with Vulcan behind them, re-rolling the wounds. That was painful. Very, very painful. So we're going to go into charges. I probably am going to lose this Sakaran because I'm 1 wound. It ain't going to do anything.
He's going to get hit by 18 siege drills.
Yeah.
If I get the charge off.
Yeah. And if my Overwatch does anything, which I doubt it. But we'll see what happens. Oh, and in the middle, nothing else really happened. We had a couple of shots go into Lamartis. He's down to 4 wounds after his 5. So, charges then. So, are you charging the...
I have a bit of a think, because I've got a bit of a brainwave, so
yep.
We'll come
Cool.
back to you.
We'll come back. Wow, what a combat phase. So, yeah, I need to get some Centurions. Jesus. So, a ton of attacks from Centurions come in and costed 18 wounds through to the Sakaran. So, Sakaran is dead. Didn't explode. I was hoping it would, so it would take a couple of guys with him. Over here, I interrupted, used my last 2 CP. I've got Adrax down to 2 wounds. Again, yeah. And Lamartis is on 1. He also put a couple of wounds onto the Apothecary, and then the best roll ever. Literally only 1 got through. So, absolutely incredible. So, we're going to move into Blood Angels turn 3 and see what happens. Alright, so I've had to do a bit of tactical play here. I've moved the Sanguinor down here, because I think he might do some good if he gets in combat. I might be able to kill a couple of guys. And there'll be no Overwatch, so it will help him get in. Does mean I probably will lose the Lamartis. Over here, found out that a Bow Predator isn't bracketed at 6 wounds, so it's gone full movement, full steam ahead, and is parked right in front of the guy.
We're playing sensible and saying that tanks can move through trees.
Yeah, because it's just silly. They're a tank, it's a tree. Real life, you crush it. You can crush a car. But my intercessors have fallen back a bit. So I've advanced 1 over, capped with the other squad. So I'm kind of forcing Toby's hand to have to deal with them. So that does give me a bit of leeway. Over here, my Hellblasters have stayed still because they are facing down a bit of punishment. But I'm going to try and get some maximum amount into those Centurions, try and clear them off. And my Imperial Space Marine is going to start doing something now. He's come around the corner. He's now hunting Centurions. Disintegrator gun might kill some. So we're going to do shooting and see if I can kill anything. Alright, so after a pretty uneventful shooting phase, as Toby is down to 1 CP, he did use Stealth Sacrifice on Vulcan so I can pop the Centurions, which is the best idea he could have done because they may have died, because I would have overcharged. So I decided to pommel a load of scouts over here and try and kill them. Got them down to just 2 guys left. Over here, we got charges done. Sanguinor came in and did what he does best. He is a character killer. Managed to kill the Apothecary with the Marties, and he managed to finish off Adrax finally. Got rid of him. Yes. So it is. There as well, yeah, so Slay the Warlord. So it is 5-3 to the Blood Angels at the moment. Moving into Toby's turn 3. Awesome. So we're deep into turn 3. And the Land Raiders coming over here. The chaplain has fallen back. So I feel there's going to be a lot of shots coming my way. But Toby has forgotten about my scouts. What? That are still in the building, which would be his closest target. So I might just save my characters. Over here, not much has moved around. Librarian's coming up now. He's starting to move around. He did his psychic phase. He managed to get good old Flame Shield off. And for the 3rd turn in a row, does not want to cast Stroke Skin. Does not like it. Clearly doesn't want it. So we're going to move into shooting, and we'll probably do combat afterwards as well, unless something really big happens in shooting, which we might do. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so pretty effective shooting coming off the Salamanders right now. So they've managed to slay the squad over here. Did take quite a few shots, but they managed to get me off a point. And they've managed to kill the Marties with standard bolt fire. Have lost the Battle Predator as well to a Land Raider. And Hellblasters are down to 2 guys over here. So I am running out of guys. Still with 2 turns to go. This could get hairy. So we're going to move into charges and see what happens. Alright, so we're at the depths of turn 3. Combat over here. Yeah, Hellblaster didn't survive. He never was going to. He just got absolutely slaughtered. On this side of the board, Land Raider came trundling in, did nothing, didn't even hit, and then the Sanguinor poked it back for a couple of wounds. So other than that, I have only got 3 units to move, so it's going to be a very quick movement and see what I can pull off in turn 4. Okay, so end of my turn 4. All I managed to kill was a Marine down here. And it took the Sanguinor literally obliterating him to get rid of him. So
You did an Intercessor.
I did lose 1 Intercessor to Banner shot back. I killed 2 las cannons. So this is that. In terms of point scoring, I scored 1 point at the beginning of the turn. So we are going to move on to Toby's turn 4 and see if I have anything left after that. At the end of the Salamander's turn, it's turning a bit horrible for me. Have lost Sanguinor to a lot of Land Raider fire. Managed to finally chew through him, which was always going to happen when he's out here by himself. In terms of units left for me, I've got some scouts and a tactical squad. So not much to do in turn 5 for me. So we're going to see what happens and come to the end. So that is the end of the game. Fortunately, where I don't have much left, we just tied up the points. Toby takes a 9-6 victory for the Salamanders. So it just shows that our supplement is still pretty good. It's definitely tough to go up against as a combat army. So there will always have to be a good mix to see what we can do. Overall, I would say they played really well. They did what they needed to do, because I have to get close to do what I need to do. So it is always a good matchup. Cool, so make sure to like and subscribe and check out the channel We have got loads of content coming up soon, so make sure you're keeping up with everything on the Instagram, because that will tell you exactly what's coming. Thanks for watching.